Welcome students to our online class. Myself Sanju Chatterjee, an assistant teacher of Southern School in English. Today I am going to take a class on literature in English, and the topic for today's class is poetry. The poetry I am going to explain today is 9 Gold Medals, written by Roth. This is a poem which highlights human values like generosity, compassion, empathy. The poem conveys a clear message. The message is winning a medal is not everything. In an event, collaboration and cooperation are more important than winning or achieving something. In this poem, 9 gold medals, we will see 9 athletes are going to take part in an event in the Special Olympics. Yes, students, the Olympic is really a special Olympic. Why is it called a Special Olympic? This is called a Special Olympic as this Olympic is only meant for the differently abled participants. In this poem, we'll see how the 9 athletes make the Olympic really a very special Olympics. So let's explain the poem. And this poem, my dear students, 9 athletes who had come from so many countries to run for the gold, for the silver and bronze. Many weeks and months in training, all building up to the games. So, dear students, all the participants had come from many countries. They had trained themselves for so many months, so many weeks to win a medal. It may be gold, silver or bronze. All around the field, spectators were gathered cheering on all the young women and men. Then the final event of the day was approaching, the last race about to begin. To cheer in the second stanza, Roth clearly tells his readers that to cheer these 9 athletes, spectators gathered all around the field. The final event, which was a 100-meter race, was about to begin. The loudspeakers called out the names of the runners, the 100 meters, the race to be run. My dear students, I have already mentioned the event name is 100-meter race. 9 young athletes stood there determined. The poet is saying determined. Why? Because they had trained themselves for so many months, so many weeks to only get a medal. They are determined at any cost. They hope to win the event. So they are determined and poised for the sound of the gun. What is the meaning of poised? Poised means composed and ready. All 9 athletes, they were ready to run for gold, bronze and silver medal. Now dear students, all the 9 athletes, they were eagerly waiting for the signal. Now the signal was given. The pistol exploded, and so did the runners. On hearing the sound, but the youngest among them stumbled and staggered, and he fell on his knees to the ground. So here in the stanza, the signal was given. All the 9 athletes who were eagerly waiting for the race to begin, they started their race as soon as the pistol was exploded. But there happened an unfortunate incident. What was that? The youngest athlete fell on his knees. That was the unfortunate incident. He gave out a cry of frustration. Yes, my dear students. The reason was clear. Enough reason for him to be frustrated. He had trained himself for many months and weeks for this final event. Now he fell on his knees. His dreams, his efforts dashed in the dark. Yes, this is true, absolutely true. After taking a strenuous training for months and weeks, he now fell on his knees. His hopes, his dreams seem to be dashed in the dirt. Dashed in the dirt means ruined, shattered. In the next line, the poet is saying that, but as sure as I am standing here telling the story, now it's a strange one, but here's what occurred. According to the poet, a strange incident happened there when the youngest athlete fell on the ground. What was that? My dear students, as I have already mentioned in the previous stanza, that a strange incident occurred there when the youngest athlete fell on his knees. What was the strange incident? The strange incident was the 8 other athletes stopped in their tracks. The ones who had trained for so long to compete, one by one, they turned round and came back to help him and lifted the lad to his feet. So that was a strange incident. Yes, it was really a strange incident. When the youngest athlete fell on the ground, all the other 8 athletes stopped their race and they one by one came to help their fellow mate who fell on the ground, and they helped him to lift him to his feet. In the next stanza, all the 9 athletes joined their hands and continued the 100 meters reduced to 1. And the banner above that said Special Olympics could not have been nearer the mark. Yes, it was a Special Olympics. All the 9 runners now, by joining their hands, started walking, which was a 100-meter race was reduced to a walk. In the last stanza, the poet is saying that that's how the race ended with 9 gold medals. They came to the finish line holding hands still, and the banner above and 9 smiling faces said more than these words ever will, said more than these words ever will. So through this stanza, the poet clearly puts emphasis on the human values like generosity, compassion, empathy, which are more important, collaboration, cooperation, these are more important than winning a medal in an event. These 9 athletes, they showed their human values towards each other. So now the race ended with 9 smiling faces. The authority awarded 9 athletes with 9 gold medals. The audience gathered there was so touched by the exemplary behavior of those 9 athletes that they all stood up and clapped. This is how the race ended, and the Special Olympics really turned out to be special. Thank you, students. Good night.